following is just a small diagram that I made to show you all the elements of what this is composed of. Here you can see the cross-section of PVC pipe, which is the main element of the entire system. PVC is very inexpensive and it can be accessed by almost anyone at your local hardware store. This gray area depicts the concrete insulation that I used. The burning of the solid-state fuel is very hot, so I had to use thermal insulation in the form of concrete to prevent the PVC outer shell from melting. I chose to use copper as a combustion chamber because I knew it wouldn't deform with each batch of fuel used. The radius I used was 1/2 inch. This represents the PVC coupling that connects the combustion chamber to the nozzle. This represents the nozzle with a construction radius of R. The purpose of the nozzle is to increase the velocity of the exhaust gases. This way the quality of different fuel mixtures could be evaluated based on how rapidly the exhaust gases were being ejected. This is just a PVC cap to mark the end of the combustion chamber. The velocity of the gases in this particular system is a function of the radius of the nozzle, the density of the fuel mixture, and its enthalpy of combustion. If one wished to transform the design into a rocket, one suggestion would be to replace the concrete with some sort of aerogel. This would make the system significantly lighter, and with a proper nozzle, it could easily take flight. Here's a display of the main elements of the system. The inner and outer chambers have a length of 6 inches, while the nozzle has a length of 2. Everything was cut using a hacksaw. Since the pieces of PVC and copper pipe were cut with a hacksaw, I had to smooth out the ends in order to make the system fit together nicely. To do this, I used a coarse grit sandpaper for the initial sanding, and a finer grit sandpaper for the finishing touches. Here's an example of how the edges were sanded down. At first, I thought of using a high-temperature furnace cement as my thermoconcrete barrier. However, after letting this concrete sit for 2 weeks, it still had not set and was soft to the touch. To combat this, I used a fast-setting cement, Quick-Rite, which proved to do the trick. This is me packing the cement into both the main combustion chamber and the nozzle. I made sure to pack the cement as tightly as I could so there wouldn't be any porosity within it when it dried. I'm no mason, so I was not very good at this, but I managed to get the job done. I would recommend to wear gloves for this part because the cement really does set fast. Here is a close-up of the dried cement inside the nozzle portion of the system. This is the final put-together combustion chamber, which will be packed with solid-state fuel. Some ingredients of the fuel mixture include potassium nitrate, which is a strong oxidizer, sucrose, or table sugar, and iron oxide, or rust. Now, the main ingredients of the fuel mixture is potassium nitrate and sucrose. After some research, I found that the best reported fuel mixture was a 65-35 potassium nitrate sucrose mixture. Given that, I decided to do a sort of test run of the fuel by combining these ingredients in this weight ratio. Just be sure to weigh out everything properly and just mix it up in a bowl afterwards. Here are the results of igniting the dry fuel mixture, both on its own and inside the combustion system. Now, for the fuel to be an effective one, you'll have to heat up the mixture on a stovetop. This is done to caramelize the sugar within the fuel, which effectively suspends the potassium nitrate homogeneously within the sugar. Cooking the fuel, you shouldn't have the heat too high, as the mixture can ignite within the pan, which I learned from experience. I did this outside for obvious reasons. The goal is to cook the mixture until you have a viscous and smooth fuel. This results in a uniform and highly flammable fuel mixture. After you have achieved a desired fuel mixture, you can pack it within the combustion chamber that has been created. So, to make ignition easier, I pack the fuel within the nozzle as well. The mixture is very hot at first, but cools down very quickly, so you must work with haste. Don't be afraid to use your hands, but take caution. To start the burning of the fuel, I rolled a small amount of it into a wire of sorts that led to the beginning of the nozzle. Once this portion is ignited, the rest will spontaneously combust. You can see that once the reaction reaches the main combustion chamber, the velocity of the exhaust gases increases dramatically. So much so that this heavy system managed to jump forward until being abruptly stopped by the debris in front of it. Unfortunately, during the third run, my system experienced a critical malfunction and resulted in destroying itself. This happened simply because I did not completely secure the nozzle to the main chamber. Inside the coupling, the PVC was exposed, which is a thermosetting polymer. So it deformed until failure while the fuel was burning. With this, I unfortunately did not get the chance to display another person using what I made. However, throughout making this, my housemates gave me a hand for many things, and they definitely enjoyed the show I displayed in the end. In the end, though, I learned so much from this project. I wanted to make this because it relates quite closely to my major, and I was able to incorporate many engineering aspects to it. I learned about solid-state fuels, how to work with my hands, and I learned how to avoid and learn from failure. If I had the time and resources, I would definitely do this project again, but with some improvements. And I would certainly recommend it to a friend, as it was very fun.